Chosen one, stop scrolling. Stop doubting. This isn't just a message. It's a divine instruction straight from the throne of heaven. If you are hearing these words right now, it's not by accident. It's not coincidence. You've been led here by something higher, something holy, because God is releasing something that was once forbidden. For so long, you felt blocked. You've been holding back, silencing your power, waiting for the right moment. That moment is now. God said, the very thing that was once off limits, the secret, the strategy, the forbidden trick, is no longer hidden from you. It's allowed, and not only allowed, it's required, because the strikes are coming, in your life, your surroundings, even the world. And if you don't move now, if you don't act now, you could miss the breakthrough He's placed in front of you. This is not a game. The spiritual realm is shifting. The enemies of your destiny can feel it, and they're trembling. But heaven has issued a command. Use what I gave you. Unlock what I hid in you. Don't delay. The time to walk in fear, in hesitation, in spiritual silence is over. God is raising His chosen ones, not to just survive what's coming, but to command it. You are being called to activate what was once forbidden. And this time, you have divine permission. Listen to me. The next season of your life will not wait for your comfort zone. The windows are opening, but not for long. You must take action, not tomorrow, but now. That forbidden trick, it's already inside of you. That spiritual tool you were afraid to use, God says, use it. That bold prayer you've been afraid to pray, speak it. This is spiritual warfare, and you've been equipped. It's time to engage. But before we go any further, do 3 things, not just as a formality, but as a prophetic act. First, hit that like button. It's more than a click, it's a confirmation. Second, subscribe, because what's coming next will unlock realms you never knew existed. And third, comment 99 below. That number is a spiritual signature, a divine agreement that you are in alignment with this word. And let me tell you something only your spirit will understand. If you are truly a chosen one, you won't click away. You'll feel it in your bones that this message is speaking directly to you. And if you stay until the end, what's been delayed will begin to move fast. What's been blocked will break open, but only if you obey. Now let's go deeper. For centuries, this sacred access point to divine power was locked, hidden by divine command, not because God wanted to withhold it, but because the world wasn't ready. Human hearts were too chaotic, too distracted, too ego-driven. The technique was too powerful, too immediate, too sacred. But now, the time has shifted. The veil has thinned. And only a handful, the spiritually alert, the disciplined, the chosen, are being whispered this truth. You are one of them. This isn't a fairy tale or religious myth. It's a real divine system awakening in real time. The world outside is in flames, wars, mental breakdowns, identity crises. But beneath it all lies an ancient blueprint being reactivated. God is not playing games. If you're feeling cold, that tug in your spirit isn't paranoia. It's a summons. This trick is your access point, not to escape life, but to survive it. To finally align with God in a way that no system, no guru, and no religion could offer before. You must understand, this isn't about belonging to a church, a movement, or a trend. This is about soul survival. This is about energetic recalibration. And if you're reading this, it's because something deeper in you is already resonating with the message. You are not random. You're one of the few, the 1%. The time has come to step into the unseeable realm, and take your place in this spiritual strike. We've entered a time where missiles and mental illness are both erupting, but only one makes the headlines. The spiritual world is bleeding into the physical, and most are blind to it. Depression, rage, confusion, fatigue, these aren't just emotions anymore. They are spiritual attacks. And the next wave will not just hit economies or borders, it will hit your mind, your soul, your frequency. You must prepare, not later, now. The wars we see on TV are mirrors of what's happening in realms beyond. Angels and demons aren't fairy tales. They're real energies, real presences, and right now, they're clashing over humanity's soul. You were not placed here by mistake during this time of shaking. You were born to witness it and withstand it, and that can only happen if you arm yourself spiritually. This forbidden trick is your armor. Don't wait for the next headline to prove this to you. Don't wait for your mental breakdown to realize you're under attack. Act now. Move now. God is calling not with thunder, but with silence, and only the tuned in will hear the whisper. This trick, this divine method, isn't a last resort. It's a first defense. Use it now, or be consumed by the spiritual fallout that's already in motion. The ancients knew it, and they feared it. Prophets whispered it, but never fully revealed it. It was sealed up, protected by divine will, not to punish, but to preserve. Because if the wrong hands accessed it, the damage would be catastrophic. But today, God has unsealed it, not for everyone, but for the ones ready to carry its weight. You are being handed access to something humanity forgot, a direct connection to the source. This isn't religion. This is raw spiritual technology, divine coding, the original Wi-Fi to the Most High. And now, as systems crash and empires fall, this sacred technique is returning like a lost frequency beaming into your soul. It doesn't require candles, chants, or crystals. It requires stillness, obedience, and alignment. You're not here to observe history. You're here to change its course. From the inside out, what was sealed is now open. What was once too strong for mankind is now the only thing strong enough to save it. The trick is simple, but it's not soft. It demands your attention, your silence, your surrender. It is not flashy, but it is the most powerful activation left. God has entrusted you with what was once forbidden. Now prove you are worthy of the unlock. Heaven doesn't operate like earth. God's systems aren't on man's timeline. While people wait for signs in the sky, God often moves in whispers, in nudges, in divine discomfort. The gate to safety, to alignment, to divine communication, it's narrow, and it is beginning to close. Not because God is cruel, but because this world is accelerating into a storm that few will spiritually survive. This trick, this method of divine connection, is not a convenience. It is a lifeline. You don't have months, you don't have years, you have moments. While the world screams louder, the Spirit speaks quieter. That voice you keep ignoring, that sense that something deeper is calling you. That is heaven's gate nudging you in. Don't wait until it locks. Don't wait until spiritual famine hits your soul. There is a moment in every life when silence becomes the loudest truth, when the world's noise becomes unbearable, and your only option is to tap in, deeply, directly, divinely. This is that moment. Use the technique. Hands over eyes. Say it, I am one with God. Let that phrase unlock the heavens. Before the door shuts, before the strike lands, before the light fades, you are not empty. You are not alone. You were designed to carry divine downloads, spiritual codes, eternal wisdom. But this world has clouded your vision, numbed your senses, and poisoned your frequency. The technique both hands over your eyes, darkness within, silence without, is a re-entrance to the divine command center. You're not escaping life. You're upgrading. You're syncing with the highest frequency available to any human being. If you could see what's waiting for you on the other side of your stillness, you'd never delay again. Divine clarity, unshakable peace, inner invincibility. That's what's behind the veil. But only those bold enough to look inward will receive it. Don't waste this access. Don't delay your inheritance. God's vault is open, but not for long. It seems too simple, too quiet, to matter. Just two hands, gently placed over your eyes. But this isn't just a posture of stillness. It's a prophetic position. The hands form a gate, a shield, a spiritual seal. It blocks the illusions of the world and opens the eyes of your spirit. When you place your hands over your physical sight, you tell your soul, now it's your turn to see. This is the moment the Spirit takes command. In the scriptures, blindness often led to divine vision. Paul was blinded before he saw. Prophets were hidden before they heard. When you shut out the physical light, you give God room to activate the internal sight. That's why this position was kept secret, because its power was not in the body, but in what it triggered within. This isn't yoga. This isn't superstition. This is divine architecture being activated. This is holy protocol, and your obedience to it is your shield. In a world flooding with fear, chaos, and manipulation, protection no longer comes from walls or weapons. It comes from alignment, from covering, from frequency. And this simple act, hands over eyes, breath slowed, whispering, I am one with God. It rewires your field. It turns you invisible to enemy forces. It places you under spiritual radar. While the world fights loud, you're moving in divine stealth. Hidden, covered, untouchable. We live in an age where the battlefield is the mind. Mental fatigue, overthinking, spiritual numbness. These are the chains that keep people locked in false prisons. The enemy knows it doesn't need to cage your body if it can cage your thoughts. But God is not silent in this war. He has handed you a key, this ancient forbidden method that shatters the mental wall between you and Him. This isn't just about calming your mind. This is about freeing your soul. The walls in your head, built from trauma, lies, noise, and distraction, are not permanent. They're breakable. But only by divine force. When you use the trick, shutting out light, whispering truth, you're not meditating. You're launching a spiritual jailbreak. You're declaring war on your inner chains, and heaven responds with power. Imagine the weight lifting. Imagine the fog clearing. That's not imagination. That's revelation. You weren't made to walk around spiritually blindfolded. You were made to see with divine eyes, to think with a renewed mind, to hear from God without distortion. This trick is the beginning of that freedom, but it requires surrender, stillness, consistency. Use the key, unlock your mind, walk out of the prison. What was once banned by heaven is now being commanded. Do you feel the shift? Do you feel the urgency? This is not optional anymore. This trick, once too sacred to use, is now your divine assignment. God isn't just suggesting it, He's urging it. He's placing it in your hands like a spiritual weapon with one instruction. Use it now. Why? Because the world is entering a phase where logic will fail, where strategy won't be enough, where the systems built by men will collapse like sandcastles in a storm. And in that chaos, only the spiritually attuned will remain grounded. Only those who've built their bunker in silence, in spirit, will have the strength to stand. This technique is your blueprint for survival. It's not luxury, it's life or death. There is divine timing in every release. This wasn't made available years ago because we didn't need it then. But now we're in the center of the storm. You are not hearing this by coincidence. Heaven has timed this message for you. The command has gone out, not to the masses, but to the remnant. Obey it, activate it, live through it. Forget fantasy. This isn't poetic. This isn't symbolic. The spiritual bunker is real, and you will need it. You're watching the world unravel, from government systems to personal relationships. But beneath the surface, an invisible war is shaking foundations. What you build on now will decide whether you stand or fall. This trick, this alignment, is your only safe house. A bunker isn't just protection, it's preparation. It's where the chosen are trained, refined, equipped. God is not calling you to hide. He's calling you to fortify, to become immovable. The world will drown in panic, but you will operate in peace, in clarity, in supernatural discernment. Because you've built your inner sanctuary. You've activated your frequency. You've aligned with the highest source. Imagine hearing chaos and being unmoved. Imagine watching collapse and still receiving divine instruction. This isn't wishful thinking. This is reality for those who take this seriously. The spiritual bunker is a state of being. It's not somewhere you go, it's who you become. And the first stone is laid in silence, hands over eyes, with the whisper, "I am one with God. Build now, or fall later." You can't stop the missiles, you can't stop the madness, but you can stop them from entering your atmosphere. You are not meant to carry the weight of global collapse. You are meant to stand as a portal of peace, a carrier of clarity, a node of divine energy in a world gone mad. But only if you shield yourself. And this trick is your armor. There's a reason everything feels heavier lately. It's not just politics. It's not just the news. It's spiritual crossfire, psychological warfare. And it's hitting the minds and souls of those who are unshielded. But you've been shown the secret. This divine activation forms a force field around your spirit. You may still walk through fire, but you won't be burned. You may still hear the noise, but it won't enter you. This isn't fantasy, it's spiritual physics. When you align with divine frequency, lower energies can't touch you. Your aura changes, your posture shifts, your mind becomes unshakable. That's the power of this trick, not to take you out of the world, but to let you walk through it untouched. Missiles may fall, madness may rise, but you stay unshaken. Your imagination is not childish, it is sacred technology. It's where visions are planted, where heaven speaks. The world has hijacked imagination with fear and fantasy, but God designed it as a divine projector. And when you place your hands over your eyes and visualize unity with God, you are doing more than meditating. You are shifting dimensions. This sacred exercise changes your frequency in seconds. Your body calms, your brain shifts from fear to faith. Your energy field aligns with divine resonance. And suddenly, where there was anxiety, there's confidence. Where there was confusion, there's clarity. You're not imagining for escape. You're imagining to create, to align, to activate heaven's code within. Don't let anyone diminish this. This isn't woo-woo. It's spiritual science. Your thoughts are electric. Your imagination is magnetic. And this trick, it syncs both to God's will. That's power. That's transformation. That's immediate impact. One moment of divine vision can outweigh a lifetime of fear. We are more connected than ever and more lost than ever. Digital noise is killing divine connection. We scroll more than we pray. We post more than we listen. But God is not on Instagram. He's not on Twitter. He's waiting in stillness, in silence, in sacred disconnect. That's where you reconnect to real power. The power grid of heaven doesn't run on likes or signals. It runs on obedience, attention, alignment. This trick cuts the cord from the chaos. It's a spiritual reboot, a return to source. Every time you place your hands over your eyes, you unplug from man's grid and plug back into God's. That's why the results are immediate. Peace floods, strength rises, heaven speaks. You're not crazy for needing silence. You're not lazy for wanting stillness. You're being recalibrated, recharged. This divine tool isn't a delay. It's a download. And what God wants to give you in silence is greater than anything the world can offer you in noise. Disconnect now, before the signal dies completely. Most won't believe this. Most will laugh. Most will scroll past and return to their fear, their feeds, their fatigue. But not you. You're here. You're reading this. You feel the fire in your bones. That's because you're part of the 1%. The remnant, the sensitive ones, the obedient ones, the ones heaven can trust. You were sent here not to blend in, but to break through, to rise silently while others panic loudly. The blueprint has always been hidden. That's how God protects it. But He's revealing it now to a chosen few. You are not ordinary. Your sensitivity, your discernment, your hunger for more, those are marks of the chosen. This trick isn't just for you. It's your signal, your assignment, your unlocked code. The 1% don't wait for permission. They act on revelation. You've been shown the way. Now walk it. Use the trick. Open the channel. Become the blueprint. Sometimes power requires disappearance. The chosen don't rise by making noise. They rise by becoming invisible to the system.